Welcome back, guys. Let's talk about an overview of how to do an elimination diet. So in the previous video, we talked about first you need to know what you're actually looking for so that you can pick the proper template, and that's arguably step 0. But now let's go about the actual steps from day 1 of your elimination diet all the way until the end, what that's going to look like. In the future, I'll do specific videos for each of these steps, but for right now, I want to make one overview video. So the first thing in an elimination diet, as the name kind of implies, is that you have to eliminate stuff. Cutting out the foods that you suspect may be inflammatory or triggering for you is the first phase of things. So let's say you do the paleo diet and you decide to cut out grains, legumes, gluten, dairy, and things like soy and peanuts. That's going to be the first phase. And then you need to give yourself time to actually heal. So you can't just cut stuff out and then cross your fingers and hope for the best. You need to reintroduce or introduce new foods, new fruits and vegetables and healthy things, anti-inflammatory foods into your diet, and then use targeted herbs or supplements or both, and do things like stress management, get proper amounts of sleep, really do everything in your power to do anti-inflammatory good work for your body and de-inflame. This time usually should be about 3 months or more. I covered this in a previous video, but the way I kind of process it is that that's about how long it takes for you to turn over an entirely new crop of red blood cells. So you're literally a whole new you by the time you've done a 3-month elimination challenge. The other way to look at it is that if you suspect your immune system is making antibodies against food, like a sensitivity or an allergy, the half-life for IgG is about 3 weeks. So if you draw that out, by the time 3 months gets around, you really should have barely any IgG antibodies left towards that food. So first you cut stuff out, then you focus on healing for a minimum of 3 months. Then the end, the finish line is in sight. The last piece of this is to reintroduce things carefully and systematically. You can't just go from, paleo or Whole30 to eating your standard American diet again. Well, you can, but you won't get the valuable information out of the experience. And really, it's all about getting that information and understanding your body more deeply. So rather than going from, 0 to 60 in a heartbeat, pick your foods, preferably a week or two ahead of time. I have my patients make a wish list and say, all right, what foods aside from gluten and dairy, because those are the most common trigger foods by far, out of everything else you eliminated, what is your wish list? You really miss oatmeal in the morning? Okay, oats could be the first thing. You miss grits? All right, corn it is. You miss, quinoa? I don't know. I don't think anybody's brought up quinoa, but you get the idea. You make a wish list of the things that would impact your life the greatest and make you happiest, but are also the least likely to be inflammatory. So again, gluten and dairy are just the most common by far, so I tell people to save those until the very end of the reintroduction phase, but otherwise you could just follow your heart. I recommend going about every 3 days. So you could introduce a food, say you introduce corn on Monday, you could eat you could eat corn on Monday and Tuesday, wait Wednesday, and then you could pick your next food, say millet on Thursday, and then proceed in a similar fashion. But if you give your body those 3 days, you should be able to get an idea of whether or not you have an immediate reaction, like an allergy or a histamine reaction, a delayed reaction, like a food sensitivity, or the intermediate, the intolerance reactions. And then once you reintroduce everything, if all is clear and you don't have symptoms, then congratulations, you made it through the elimination diet unscathed. But more than likely, if you did an elimination diet, you have something inflammatory going on, and you will pick up on at least one food that is noteworthy for you.